For my Biology 101 culminating project, I decided to help out at one of the LEAD work parties. This particular service learning party occurred on October 26th in our community's Arboretum, where we worked on eliminating the invasive plant known as the yellow archangel. The yellow archangel is a non-native plant to Bellingham and originates from Europe, where it is used as a ground cover and garden decoration. The reason this plant can be so invasive is because it spreads extremely fast by both its seeds and its shoots, causing it to grow exponentially. This creates several negative impacts for native plants in the Arboretum's ecosystem because it limits the production of them, ultimately leading to little biodiversity. And as we all know, biodiversity is key to our survival. The yellow archangel is known as a herbaceous perennial plant because it can grow up to 2 feet tall and maintains its green leaves throughout the winter, making it also a carnivorous plant. If we relate this plant to the ecology of Seaholm Hill, we can categorize the yellow archangel in the late secondary successional stage. The yellow archangel is carnivorous and maintains its green color throughout the year because it has more pigment in its leaves than other deciduous native plants that may drop their leaves in the winter. Therefore, this native plant needs less light and solar energy to disturb its pigment electron in the chloroplast thylakoid to perform photosynthesis. This is not beneficial whatsoever to the native species because as a ground cover, the yellow archangel continues to populate exponentially. It masks and overpowers the native species below it, stealing all of their nutrients, water, CO2, and solar energy, which causes the native plants to die off. When a plant is limited to its solar energy, CO2, and nutrients, its pigment electrons cannot convert enough light energy into chemical energy, which means there's not enough ATP being produced to make carbohydrates. Water also cannot enter the roots of the native plants through transpiration because the roots of the yellow archangel are overpowering them. Without water, the plant cannot perform photolysis and acquire oxygen. When our native species die off due to this invasion, our overall biodiversity in our ecosystem decreases. Biodiversity in a community is the key factor for maintaining stability in an environment. From this service learning experience, I learned that it is important for us to maintain variety in our ecosystems. The greater the biodiversity in an area, the greater potential for a renewable supply of resources. We want to have a balance of resources in our community, not an overabundance of one. Invasive plants such as the yellow archangel can be controlled with our help. If we continue to work on weeding and disposing this plant properly on a regular basis, eventually it will disappear and restore balance in our local environment. But remember, do not compost the yellow archangel, or this vast cycle will continue all over again.